moving on to the next presentation, I just want to call someone to the stage, Lisa Loud, who's going to actually shed light on the topic entitled Institutions Adopting DeFi. The floor is all yours, and thank you for coming one more time.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming to my talk. Who here believes that institutional adoption of DeFi is a reality in the next couple of years? Nobody. That's not surprising. Institutional DeFi, I'm going to share a secret with you. It's actually ramping up. We're seeing a huge amount of increased interest in DeFi from the institutions. I'm the CEO and co-founder of FluiDeFi, where we are building a platform for institutions to get into the DeFi space. So what's keeping institutions out right now? First of all, let me start by defining DeFi. DeFi means decentralized finance, and it's essentially a completely new way of doing things. In the past, we've had the bottom. This is how it works in finance. And if you think about it, every time somebody goes to the store and buys something with their credit card, there's a transaction fee that gets charged. That transaction fee is paid to MasterCard or Visa. Did you know that $50 billion was collected by MasterCard and Visa last year just for transaction fees? We're not talking about late fees or interest or anything like that. It's just transaction fees. So what if we had a different system where the transaction fees could be collected by everybody within the network? What if we had a system where that $50 billion could be shared among other people, regular people, institutions, and banks too? Banks can get in on the action, they just shouldn't take all of it. So that's the idea of DeFi. And at FluiDeFi, we decided to build the tools to bring institutions in because they weren't coming in very quickly. There's reasons for that. But there's also reasons that the institutions very much want to be in this space. And those reasons are higher yields. You can get between 10% and 400% annually if you're in liquidity pools collecting fees on transactions. It's much higher than the traditional asset classes that we've seen for decades and decades. So that's the biggest thing that attracts them. But also, there's some other advantages like simplification of process, automation, transparency, lower fees, faster settlement. There's a lot of advantages for institutions to get into the decentralized finance place. By contrast, there are some risks. And this is what people talk to me about all the time. They're always asking me, but what about this? What about that? So let's address these. These are the risks that institutions will face coming into this space and that they're going to be worried about. We have technology risks. The technology is quite young. It's only been around for a couple of years. And so there are risks, there are gaps, there are things that happen. I will tell you that because it's such a young industry, there haven't been a lot of best practices or standards brought into the space. And because of that, when people code DeFi things, they don't always follow best practices. It's true that over $19 billion was lost last year through hacks, through the technology. However, most of those were because people didn't follow best practices. They were totally avoidable if people had known what they were doing. There's also security risks, governance risks, compliance and legal risks, and finally, financial risk. So let's dive down into the financial risk, because that's where they're really focused. They want to make money, they don't want to lose money. So what are the components of financial risks in decentralized finance? First, there's a credit risk. When you want to place your capital in decentralized finance, you have to do due diligence on the plate, just like you do in traditional finance. But in DeFi, how do you do the due diligence? How do you find the the information you need in order to be able to place your capital safely and be wise about it. The second thing is liquidity risk. As we all know, liquidity is king in trading. If you don't have enough liquidity, you may not be able to exit your position. So liquidity is a very big risk for institutions because they don't want to be stuck with a losing position. Market risk. There's huge manipulation in crypto. There's people pumping and dumping, putting money in to change the price. Even big names who publicly announce that Bitcoin is going down and then quickly buy it up before it can go up again. So how do you address these issues? And then finally, there's the tax risk. It's very unclear right now how to pay your taxes in decentralized finance. All right, let's look at some solutions for each of these. For a credit risk, one thing that we've done at FluiDeFi is focus on these issues and try to solve them for institutions. So we're providing deep insights and analytics on the pools, the tokens, the protocols, the underlying assets. We're trying to make it just as robust as the traditional finance world so that asset managers can feel comfortable coming into this space. What about liquidity risk? Hedging strategies. There are hedging strategies in DeFi, specific ones. They're not the same as the traditional ones, so there's some education required. But with our platform, we offer some packaged hedging strategies that help the institutions. Market risk. To avoid market risk and bad actors, there's a lot coming. But for now, for today, we can monitor the wallets, compare them against the OFAC sanctions list, and decide and alert our customers if something bad is going down, or if a pool is suddenly dropping, or there's strange transactions in it. These are all things that we can do to avoid the risk. And finally, tax risk. Building tax reporting on liquidity pools is something that has not been done by anybody else yet. I'm sure they will figure it out soon. But at FluiDeFi, we have figured that out, and we're creating these tax reports so that customers, our institutional and bank clients, can have some information about their tax reporting. Okay, that's all kind of boring, detailed stuff. So I'm going to move quickly through this. This is our platform and some of the features that we have. But I want to tell you a story. In 2017, I left the big tech world, Apple, PayPal, etc., and decided to jump into cryptocurrency. I joined BitMEX, and at the time, BitMEX, I have a whole bunch of animation problems here, so just ignore the screen for a second. At BitMEX, we were making $10,000 a month when I first started in 2017. Over the course of the next 6 months, I was able to help the team. We had a good product, good timing. I was able to help the team come to a much higher revenue of $83 million per month. Just in 6 months, we grew that. And I think the reason for that was that we had the right product at the right time in the right market, and we had the right messaging for our customers. I believe that today, decentralized finance has the same opportunity. It's just going to go on and on here. There we go, 83 million. Okay. Today in DeFi, we have the same situation. We have the growing opportunity. We had a big dip, right? Everything went down. Crypto went down, everything went down. However, that doesn't discourage institutions from coming in. Have you heard the expression, when there's blood on the streets, it's time to get in? That's how institutions think. When everything is crashing, when everybody's running for the hills, that's when the big players, the big asset managers, big money, private money, starts coming into the space. And we've seen that. We've seen a huge bump in interest from institutions and asset managers into this space. And it's only starting. I believe that over the next couple of years, we're going to see a huge increase here. In fact, 70% of hedge funds and asset managers have indicated that they intend to enter the DeFi space within the next year. That will explode our industry to $1 trillion. That's about all I wanted to tell you, except for the fact sometimes people talk about the energy consumption of cryptocurrency as a terrible thing. So I wanted to let you know that, along with many others in the space, we are focused on ESG, Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations. We've developed an algorithm that will save 99.99% of energy consumption for DeFi transactions. Right now, banks use twice the amount of power every year that cryptocurrency does. So step one, we move the banks over to DeFi. Step two, we get them onto this technology, which can save them 99% of their energy costs. And that will reduce the energy consumption around the globe for everyone. Saving the planet for next generations. If you're interested in finding out more, we do have a booth over there in the DeFi arena. We're FluiDeFi, and we would love to talk to you more. My goal in life is really to bring everyone in the world into DeFi at some level, and I'm happy to talk to you, answer your questions, and help you get started. Help us and join us in changing the world of finance for everyone, everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much for enlightening us with your topic. And we just open the floor to our visitors if they have any comments or questions. Is there anyone has a question? Do you want to have a question?
Hi. Very great presentation. I had one question. You said the first step is to bring the banks to DeFi. When do you think will that happen? Like approximately, like, because it shall start, but like when do you think the banks will fully come to DeFi?
Fully is a difficult question to answer. What does fully mean, right? But it's a great question. We are seeing right now, we have bank customers who are using our platform. So they're already starting. However, I believe it's going to be a 10-year journey before we have everybody using DeFi as default. Decentralized finance is the default rather than centralized finance. But I believe that it's not going to be a 0 to 10. You know, it's going to be gradually over the next, really 70% intend to enter the space. But a good point that you brought up, actually, is that they all have a toehold. They all have 1% in DeFi, so it's not a huge amount. They're checking it out because they know it's coming and they don't want to be surprised.
I just want to one more ask you if you have any channel. For me, myself, I just want to, get more knowledge about your, about this as well.
Yes, so although we are an institutional-facing platform, we launched a retail version of the platform specifically because of my passion to bring everybody into DeFi. Every single one of you, I would love to have you sign up for the platform. We'll give you a month free, so you can just play around with it and try it out and learn about DeFi. Because the more people that understand it, the faster the revolution can happen. And I believe it's a good revolution.
Oh, thank you very much. I would love to write it down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you one more time. See you soon. Oh, you have one more question?
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. It seems like I catch a bit late, but I don't know if I missed it, but what are the most important supporting or foundation that's available in the market or in this region that will support DeFi to go further? And what is the most challenging point? So just at least one of each.
Can you clarify what you mean by foundation?
So kind of what motivation is available, what infrastructure, awareness, whatever kind of things to help DeFi to go forward further in the market?
There's quite a lot, I would say.
Sorry.
There's quite a lot of our main investors are here in Dubai, and they see this region growing very much. And we're from Canada, so we're a Canadian company, and we can't sell our product in Canada, but we can sell it here.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think mentioning Canada, I think CBA, the Council of Business between Canada and Arab region is there, and they're very active in this. I think they can definitely help in this.
Yes,
I think you're already there.
We're attending their events, and actually
Perfect.
the Canadian Trade Commission brought us over for this event as well.
Perfect. Good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the presentation.